Welcome to Hatched, Idea to Impact. I'm Jenna Devonport.
And I'm Dustin McMahon. This is a podcast where we sit down with people behind successful businesses to unpack their journey.
The lessons, the setbacks, the mindset, and what shaped them along the way. Real conversations about what it actually takes. Let's get into it.
Okay, today we're down with Jacob Barter from Port Noarlunga, Noori. When you're not running Noori, you're organising street parties around the place or otherwise climbing roofs. Welcome.
Thanks guys. Yeah, you caught me. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Now, you grew up around here. Can you tell us a bit about your upbringing?
Yeah. So I grew up in Morford Vale till around 11 and then moved to Port Noarlunga, which is where the Barter tribe, it feels funny to say that, but it feels almost appropriate because I've got probably 5 different sort of pairs of my family within the suburb of Port Noarlunga. Went to school at Cardine, did a whole bunch of things post high school. I lived in the snow for a while after finishing my roofing apprenticeship.
Nice.
I came back and started to study architecture and got most of the way through, where I then moved over to England to finish off my degree and found bartending, and then that took me away for another year, and then came back with a bit of a fire in my belly. Noori happened 2.5 or so years ago from that, and yeah, that's 4 years of Noori is virtually now.
What drew you to owning your own place?
You know, when you play around with enough things that you find that thing that gets you really, really excited and your brain starts to fire off all of these imaginative ideas.
We do.
Maybe it's just ADHD.
I think so. Shiny lights.
Everything. No. It was bartending and bar culture. You know, I always loved to feel like I knew something. I always loved to be able to speak to people, but to learn about the nitty-gritties of a product and then speak about that and learn as much as possible about that felt good. So I got a little inkling of that in the history section of architecture. I really enjoyed the essays. There's lots of connections, and again, increasingly into booze, you sort of realise that 8,000 years of winemaking is, enough for empires to fall and wine to be drunk the whole time. So I'd say it was my interest and curiosity that sort of spurred it.
You seem to have a passion for wine. You seem to, around the area, you support a lot of the local wineries and stuff like that. I see a lot of posting and sharing of it.
Yeah.
Where's the passion for wine come from? Is it just drinking it, or?
Well, Doug Govan gets spoken about enough, but perhaps not quite enough. He's the proprietor of the Victory Hotel, and I was working there for years, just through uni, just learning little bits and pieces, and he always had this crazy wine cellar, and I suppose where that came from is, it sort of perked my interest. And then you realise that a lot of local winemakers are going through and drinking the fancy French stuff, and then you're shaking hands with the guy that makes wine, and you feel like you're speaking to a celebrity. It captures it. It's really exciting. At least that's how I used to find it. Like, the creator of a product is in front of me.
They've done an amazing job up there for what was just a little pub to now how well established
30
it
years.
is, and
That's
how well recognised. And I think what you talk about, you look around the area and there's a lot of restaurants and stuff like that you talk to the people working there, and a lot of them have spent time at the Victory, haven't they? It's coming through little rickshaw and stuff like that. In
those sort of top 5, top 10 venues in McLaren Vale, everybody's worked everywhere. Yeah. Or it's someone's cousin or wife or daughter or son. It really does go everywhere. But it was always about that connection to the producer, and I like to talk. I like to be social.
That's good on a podcast.
Yeah. But because of that, I always found it fairly easy to speak to the producers, and quite often a creator can be quite recluse, especially a winemaker. There's a lot of pressure in it. You produce something that's based on the vintage beforehand. You've got to say that it's one vintage. You kept it for another vintage. You didn't sell as much as you did last year, so now you've got, there's stress in the sale. So you don't always feel like going to people's homes or doing social media to get your product out there. So Noori's always been a facilitator of getting that sale.
I think there's a lot of them around here, isn't there? It's like if you're good at promoting yourself, then your wine's known.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of these little cellar doors that are producing a quality wine.
Yeah.
But they don't have the voice to get it out there.
Yeah. That's a subject that we talk about fairly often, especially with Fluoro Living magazine. We're looking at an article that's about the pathway to prestige. Yep. How do you create a brand that you know is top quality, that you know that you're making in the right way? How do you package it, deliver it, send it to an audience member that can then, gain that understanding or, that sort of notoriety that you feel it deserves?
I think that's probably one of the big challenges in every business today is, the marketing world is changing all the time and how we send a message is different every day. What do you think your key is in getting your brand out for your business?
Yeah, I suppose, first of all, it's never been easier to sort of shoot people down. And in the past, I've let that really get to me. And it's only recently through contemplation and speaking to people that I've realised, if you don't like it, good on you, I hope that you're well and, have a lovely journey. Yeah. I used to let this really get to me and, I would burn myself out by trying to work, 72 hours in 72 hours, basically, by trying to work on these preconceived ideas of what others thought. When in fact, I had a really good idea from the start. Yep. And if I stuck to that, the more I've questioned myself, the more I've felt, a bit misunderstood. So I think the short answer to that question is to be really good at something and then trust yourself and, understand that, you're there not to do what people think's right. You're there to convince them that, what you've got has substance and, is a correct way to do things.
Yeah, and I think it probably comes down to a bit of understanding your niche. You might not be for everybody, but those that you are for are going to love you for that niche. Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
And it is real easy to look at the ones that criticise you or say, oh, yeah, why is he doing that? They're not your niche.
Yeah.
It's really getting that, because it's like the people that are making the noise and criticising you, they affect you the most rather than someone going, oh, I had a great night here or stuff like that, where they're the ones you should focus on.
Yeah. It's like 3 or 4 people's faces come to your mind at night when you're thinking sometimes. And through my ADHD diagnosis, I actually found out that that's a symptom of ADHD. So that was sort of nice. That sort of helped me justify it.
So on that, and look, from watching you, I think you'd have a million ideas a week on what you're going to do. How do you then manage to deliver, pull it back and go, these are the ones I'm going to actually focus on that are going to, and then deliver it rather than just going chasing the bright lights?
Yeah, trial and error. Yep. It needs to be measured. You need some level of chaos and spontaneity, because Noori is hard to decipher on purpose. Yeah. We're up to different things at all times on purpose, and it's because we want to be dynamic. And you can't be dynamic by having ChatGPT come up with, what's the top 10 ideas to do for the next 6 months so we get a more social media grab. It's there needs to be some level of spontaneity, but breathing in. to not have those really quick fire decisions. A good night's sleep.
How do you have that?
Yeah, that's hard. Afternoon nap, then a mediocre night's sleep. That's equal to good night. In addition to that, I'd say that chatting to those that are in your circle that you can trust, but also have valid opinion as well. surround yourself with those that are better than you, you will become better.
So we find, like being business partners, I think it's good for us to ground each other at times, because I'll have a crazy idea and Jen will tell me, nah, we're not doing it. And
Sometimes I have to ban him from listening to more podcasts because he'll be like, oh,
we're going to do this.
like, just chill.
Yeah, no,
One
I
at a
do
time.
that. Scroll on Instagram. Oh, look, fire, cool.
Yeah. So do you have someone that you find is more that grounded person to help you with that, or multiple people, or?
I probably overshare.
Yep.
So I've got sort of 5 or 6 people that are like really, really tight with. I can call them anytime and let them know, like, gosh, I'm having this idea and stuff like that. And sometimes it is understood, and sometimes it can really, like, you know, concrete block it. And, you know, at times I've wished that I didn't share it with some people, because, like, in fact, when I did end up, you know, pursuing that idea 6 months later or a year later, it worked. Yeah. So, but, you know, perhaps there's a timing aspect as well. But yeah, so I suppose always, having good communication with those, and understanding understanding what their viewpoint's roughly going to look like.
It's probably a good segue into inspirations for you. Are there any specific inspirational people in your world that helps drive you every day? Yeah.
I mean, you know, I can't not mention Doug there. Doug's a good operator. You know, he's really, really fair, and he's got himself an institution. That's that sort of high watermark. That's where you want to be. But in my bartending overseas, you know, I used to travel a fair bit. For Pernod Ricard, I was doing training sessions between different places, and I would see these bars in small little towns in England, and like some of these places were ridiculous, just so impressive. You know, some of the best bars in the world will be tucked around the corner behind a train station under some stairs, you know.
Yeah.
So you see, like, where there's a will, there's a way. So there's bars like Two Schmucks, which is now closed. The owner of that, called Mo Al-Jaff, he's Syrian but grew up in Norway. Yeah. He got Bacardi. He won a big cocktail making competition in 2016 and built this, you know, insane bar, and now has sold that up, and it now owns, I think it's number 26 in the world. Yeah, okay. Bar in New York. Yep. And that guy's just a normal dude with an idea. Like, he didn't have any extra funding, nothing like that. So
when we talk about those little bars, and, you know, I think I've picked up a lot of what drives you is the people and the environment that you create. How do you blend that into and we've touched on measure of success. Obviously there has to be a balance between my bar's full of happy people and profitability. Yeah. So how do you work through those business structures?
Well, that's like, I mean, it's perhaps with brokering, it's a similar thing, because it's about the product that you're selling. It's about the energy that you've got in the space that you hold people at, but it's about staying up to date. And like, that's where, like, I don't know whether you two had it, but, you know, perhaps with two people there's more control. With me, I feel like at times Noori's just this completely different child. It's like, you know, giving birth to this child and then all of a sudden they've got a bear tattoo on their face. You know, what the hell are you doing? You know, there's just this. But you got to let them grow. You know, you need to. It's not always going to be that, and also like having that connection so close to you with that first connection that you have, first business for me at least. I couldn't sleep with worry at times, thinking like, oh, it's being steered in a different way, and is it doing what I want it to? You know, real concern. I was talking too much just then.
No, that's right. I was talking about is there a specific measure of success for you? Oh. And is it,
Gosh.
That's all right.
It was about profitability,
Is it profitability? Is it people in the business?
Yeah. So our profitability is based a little differently from others. Like, you know, a lot of the time it's gross profit by percentage, which is great. You know, that's a good way to, you know, charge $14 for a G&T or, you know, blah, 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 any of these different things. But, you know, when it comes to bottle sales or if it comes to approachability, like we were testing into a new market. So Port Noarlunga hadn't had this sort of thing happen before. So how do you do it? So we went about wines in the wine room, get a certain dollar mark on each one, profitability-wise. So rather than percentage, you know, where you can skyrocket your prices, we go, no, each bottle we want to earn between $25, $35. There you go. Yeah. And what it does is that creates a product where a customer can come in, you know, happy customer, enjoying the space, enjoying the time. They see what looks like a really affordable product in the wine room, and then they grab it. And then next time they go somewhere else, they see, oh, geez, it's $20 cheaper than that other place. Oh, it's the same one. So profitability is as much about, you know, your beers, your G&Ts, your profitability on your food margins, but it's also about being able to stay in the pocket, because, you know, you can so quickly just be banished in hospitality.
It's interesting. I think there's a few things like you say about all your time in the like UK or overseas, and you look at this place and I don't know, like it's probably just perfect timing for you, because I don't think there's another place in Port Noarlunga that you could have done this with. Like you could easily be sitting in one of those bars in the UK with the warm feeling like you've created here, but then you brought all the wines in as well. Yeah. Like there's not another venue you could have done it with, I don't think, is there?
No. It'll be warm once that heater kicks in.
Yeah. I was just pretending it's warm. Yeah.
We are not slightly cold right now. But I'm interested by that concept at times, because people say, what would you do if you had a larger venue that you could go to? Or what would you do if you could, you know, could you move into that space? And the answer is no. Like you couldn't, like once you've made that creation and it's there, then Noori exists there. The next one has a different name. It's got a different energy. You know, it's a different creation.
Couldn't sit around the well.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, no, I can't move that.
It goes down 20 feet.
Yeah, I've seen it. Probably a lid because keys and stuff dropped, or?
Yeah. One time, but we actually think that nothing fell down there. We had a fishing rod with a magnet connected to it. Yeah. How's about I pour a little bit of wine?
Oh, why not?
That sounds horrendous.
I don't know whether I'm in frame, but yesterday we've got a little change happening with the way we're going to do our wine list. So I was speaking to Marcel from Bibendum, who's a distributor of some wines. With the study that I'm doing, I want to change up the wine room and have a bunch of stuff by the glass, like 30 or 40 wines. So we got to sit down and open up this, which is a pretty bloody fancy bottle. Yep. Yeah, so it's just a little sort of a little bonus of being able to do this sort of thing.
So you're studying?
Yes, yeah.
What are you studying, and where do you find that time?
I'm studying the diploma in wine, or a dip set, which is at level 4 in the Wine Spirits Education Trust program. So it's just called WSET.
Yep.
And then to be really cool, you say dip set WSET.
Yes, so cool.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds cool.
But I've been studying it on and off. The management there is super patient. Sally Johnson's amazing. They've been super patient because I was doing it for 2 years and then started Noori. So I'm in my 5th year now. At the end of this year will be the start of the 6th year of studying it, when usually you get around 3 years to do it. But, you know, they were quite understanding of my position, so they extended me.
Yep. So I mentioned that you climb roofs. You still. Now, a lot of people, when they start a business, like, and we get it in the broking industry, people are like, oh, well, I'll start broking part-time and I'll keep doing another job just to support myself. Do you see yourself getting in hospital, like it's been a while now, this is running quite well. Is it somewhere you want to keep in the building industry, or what's the thoughts there? And you mentioned architecture. Is that to bed yet, or?
Yeah. Well, so I've been doing roofing only for the past 6 months, and that's because Noori's getting to a spot where, you know, I can have a manager there and I'm 200 metres away, so, you know, you can give us a call if you need me, sort of thing. And, you know, that seems to be producing, you know, a culture within that, which is great. And, that stepping away feels really weird at the start. Delegation's one of the hardest things to do. But once you get used to it...
We were discussing that this morning. Not very good at it.
Yeah, it's tricky not to have your stamp on things. Yeah. But you realise your stamp is there, just in a different way. Yeah. This roofing thing's turning into something that, like... it's a bit of a specialty zone. It's really, really small stuff. But because my dad, who's pretty bloody great at it, that's who I did my apprenticeship with. Yeah. And he's finished, and he created his own little sort of market where the solutions would otherwise not take place in that way. Yeah, okay. So there's a hole there. Yep. So much like with Noori, we saw a hole in the market for something like this. So I said, all right, like, look, I'll have a crack. And sure enough, it's sort of going gangbusters at the moment, which is really cool. Takes away my time and my energy from other things. Yeah. But, like, what I see is no lack of love for the industry. It's just preparing for the tsunami that feels like it is, you know, perpetually 10 minutes away, you know. In the way of year or? No. In terms of, you know, it feels as though, you know, tomorrow petrol prices might be $4 or, you know, like, am I going to be able to afford a house in the future, you know? So I'm doing what anybody would do, which is just try and grow to a point of comfortability.
It's an interesting one. It's almost ties into that, like, imposter syndrome, where it's like you appear to be going very well, but you're always that fear of what if something happens. Is that sort of a bit of a driver, you think? Of like...
Yeah. Well, you know, like I mean, I don't know how deep we'll get into this, but, like...
As deep as you want to go.
Well, you know, like 80K used to be... I don't know what the median wage in Australia is right now. Is it sub 80K or is it right around there?
Should know that.
We should.
But you'd probably... I mean, I don't think it's probably around the median, but then where you're going with affordability, like... What used to be like 100, 120 grand, where, like, I find it all the time now. I'm like, oh yeah, well, clients can buy for this. Yeah. But now we put in the extra cost of living, the higher interest rates and that, and it's like...
You can afterpay fucking everything.
Oh, that's
like, we're rocking in the corner as a broker for Afterpay.
Afterpay is just disgusting to me. Like, they worked out a way to crack out credit cards and go, people can't just be given credit. So now they give them Afterpay.
Give you an online credit card. It's crazy.
But yeah, the affordability has just got so hard on people. So like now, God, you just about need to be on 150 on a joint household to be making ends meet.
We get it a bit, and, you know, both of us have done this job for a long time, and then, you know, and there was a long time where I could look at an income figure and then go, you can borrow this amount, but we can't really do that anymore because it's changing so rapidly all the time. So, but I think that part in any person that has built something from nothing, there's always that underlying thing that this could vanish. Yeah. And so it's like it is eternally preparing for a tsunami because you came from the ground up. So I think it's a humble approach to not take for granted what you've got.
Yeah. Thanks. That sounds so much better than what I said. It
does, right? Yeah. It's all about the framing of it.
Yeah. It's probably similar to where we were talking about profitability before, and I was thinking, like, for me, like, it sounds boring to probably 90% of people, but I'm passionate about a mortgage and helping people get a home and stuff like that. And
it's the
and what it
Australian
does.
dream.
And there's been times in the industry where you're like, oh, this is all going to fall to bits. And it's like, should I go do something else? It's like, there's nothing I'd rather do.
Yeah.
Now, where we talk about profitability for you, you've got something that you can see you're so passionate about. And if you're that passionate about it, you'll find a way to make it profitable. I think if you're not going to bed going, oh, I wake up tomorrow and I have to go to work.
No.
Yeah.
It's much more like like where do you take it next? Like how do you stay fresh? Do I need to bake a cake this week? Baking a cake is my little thing of like, what idea is next?
What kind of cake would you bake? I want to know the flavour that you're baking.
I did put in for a cheesecake competition of low stakes winning about 6 weeks ago and completely lost. Cheesecake would be the answer.
Please tell me you lost.
That's great, right?
Cheesecake? Yeah.
Please tell me you lost to like an 80-year-old grandmother.
Yeah,
who just killed you. Yeah, thank you.
And
Excellent.
hers was just like no bullshit. Just like it was just a really good cheesecake,
So give us some background on that. Have you, what's your baking background? Because I think you did it with music as well. You were like, I'm going to learn this and do it in 6 months at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the drums there. Every year we have a winter solstice party and summer solstice party. Longest day and shortest day of the year. And
For those that don't know.
The original sort of idea of that is like shortest day of the year, coldest day of the year. Why don't we have a bit of a party so you can remember your neighbours? Don't forget about them. Every year we try and do something different for it. So last year we started a band and we played just for one night. So we did 2 practice sessions. I bought a drum kit on Facebook Marketplace.
As you do.
Yeah. I learned how to play a Silverchair song. Freak, maybe. And then
it was memorable.
Yeah, it was shit. But it was really good. And then we played Killing in the Name Of, where we all swapped instruments. So I ended up singing that one, which is good. It's an easy song.
Excellent.
Footage online or?
Footage is out there somewhere.
We will find it.
Yeah, on the TikToks maybe. Yep. But so I suppose apart from my baking career, that's how we.
So back to that. How long has this baking career been going?
It's nothing. I hadn't made a cheesecake before. It's from my girlfriend. She's in a little local community, so we just put in for it.
Yeah, nice.
Did a little blueberry take on it.
Yep. And travel, I think you were in South Africa, 6 months ago? Or
Yeah.
Still
South Africa
wanting to
started
travel
the year.
heaps? Or?
Yeah. Looking at Samoa or Tahiti. I've got some family in Tahiti, but it's expensive to do stuff there, so I don't know whether we'll get there. But flights are cheap for Samoa as well, so it's either that or just go back to Vietnam or Bali.
Vietnam's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Northern Vietnam's amazing. Yep. But it definitely more travel on the way. I'm dating a beautiful Brazilian girl, so South America's on the cards. Yep. Whether it's a surf trip or Amazonia trip, who knows? But yeah.
South Africa's amazing though, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Where'd you go over there?
Lekker.
Cape Town?
Yeah. We're at Sea Point and Green Point in Cape Town, Stellenbosch, and then the national park, right, really close to Tanzania. I forget where it is. It's right in the
Kruger or
Kruger. Good stuff. Yeah, we're at Madeleine's at the bottom.
I think if he was going to leave Australia, he'd go to South Africa.
I love South Africa.
He loves it so much.
We've been twice on a couple of trips there. Cape Town's amazing. Wines are amazing as well, and their food and that. And
you look South African. You look like you got that sort of Dutch European sort of thing.
One of our workers will love that. He'll be giving me grief. So one of our trainees, he's South African.
Really?
Been out here for about 4 or 5 years.
4.5, I think.
They got here just before COVID. And,
They got good representation on Beach Road. There's Mikey's Pantry. That's a South African shop.
Yeah, okay.
That's excellent. The biltong there is outrageous.
So we've talked a little bit about you, but one thing I want to understand is it's obviously not always smooth sailing. What's been your biggest challenge to overcome since owning this place?
Self and staff. Yeah.
Okay. Have you put measures in place around making staff not as big a issue, or like talk us through some of the things that you've overcome?
Yeah, well, you know, that imposter syndrome is a big thing. But you know, in that initial year where it was, you know, this is my baby, this is everything, you know, we could turn that candle 90 degrees right now. Yeah, we could do that. And, you know, like all of these just tiny little minute details that I wouldn't sleep for days and days thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Not conducive to having, you know, staff that like feel, you know, safe in their space. You know, like I was lucky. I've always been blessed with staff, and perhaps that's because we've put a lot into the place. It sort of exudes this sort of stuff. But like the nature of the staff is they're always going to mirror how you're feeling. So like if you're feeling really nervous and things aren't right and rushing around, stressed, then the staff are going to feel that way. And I learned that in that first 2 years. You know, I was like, you know, I'd be a nervous wreck at times, and it would quite obviously show.
It's interesting. I saw a speaker at a conference last year, Lisa O'Neill, and it's about energy. And she has something in her office at the door that says, be responsible for the energy you bring into this space. And that's because it is contagious.
Yeah.
So it's massive for a leader to be able to just be calm in the craziest of situations.
Yeah.
Because your staff feel it.
Yeah, so tricky.
Such an interesting one, because I worked a fair bit of hospitality when I was younger. And one of my best bosses was in hospitality, and he, like, you're doing big corporate events, and like he'd be like, those chairs have to be right there, like you have to have the certain seating space. Every bottle has to face forward and that. Now, it's hard to put that onto staff and emphasise how important it is, but then also so that's where you lose staff if you're like that carrying on about it, but it is so important, and it's a subconscious to the customer, not like they don't realise how important it is. It's sort of a juggling act.
Yeah, it's the balance. It's the balance of like, okay, you know, I can't be a pushover, but I can't be a tyrant.
Yeah.
And like more recently I'm scared. Like I love my staff. I'm not scared of them, but like more recently I've been scared of judgment, so I hold back, and that's like a good thing. You know, you should. One thing I learned is you don't do it right there and then. You do it like in a private conversation afterwards. But I still find times when I don't feel like doing that because I get scared. And it's only recently Zoe, I mean, all of the staff, Kathy, Daisy, Crilly, Flynn, Willem, you know, everyone. We've now got Liv on the team, and we've got so many good crew. But recently, it was one of my employees came up to me and was asking me like, how come you don't really like? It was about direction. And I said, like, I'm just a little bit scared that you're going to hate me if I tell you. And she goes, well, what do you mean? Like, you know that I've been offered full-time positions elsewhere and I choose to be here. You know that, like, Kathy's got other position offers, but she chooses to be. You know, we choose to be here. Maddie chooses to be here. And you go, right, wow. You know, like, you've got there was a weird thing, like, I hadn't had that. So I was able to sort of realise that, and I was like, okay, right. So 5 minutes later, Zoe poured a glass of wine, and it was about 10% over. come on, man. No. But I just said, tapped on the shoulder. I was like, Zoe, just for like your glasses, you're about 10% over on your pour. It's 150 ml pour. And she goes, oh, thanks. I was like, you don't hate me, do you? She's like, no. And I was like, wow.
Isn't it interesting? Because, I mean, we've had occasions like that recently where we've gone through, it's almost like you're the parent, because you've got to be able to, like, all our staff are our friends. We love enjoying time with them, sort of celebrating our wins and that, but then there's times where you've also got to be hard on them. Yeah. And yeah, you do. You lose sleep over it. You're sort of like, I've got to do this. Yeah. But you've got to recognise that at times we have to be hard. We try and be fair. Yeah. But you do lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I would sooner climb a mountain without pants on. Like it's truly, but it's my biggest thing. Yeah.
Cape Town would be all right. It's warm, but I'm not sure about. We're going to NZ in 2 weeks. I don't know if I'd climb that mountain with no pants on.
Yeah, gosh, no, hell no.
I think it's actually warmed up in here, but when we first came in, it's probably an experience that we're going to have in New Zealand in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. North, South Island?
South.
South.
Sorry, I had to.
Christchurch
and
A
Queenstown.
lot of new business there. Crazy. Oh, and Queenstown.
So we're holidaying in Queenstown with the family before heading up to a conference in Christchurch. So, I did Queenstown last year, and it's just stunning. But I did it like spring, end of the snow season, but still snow-capped mountains, like beautiful, whereas it's full ski season now. So goodbye what's left of the knees.
Yeah. New Zealand rules. It's
so exciting. Haven't been there, but can't wait. It's going to be good.
It's unreal. There's especially South Island. It's adventure prone.
It was, I had always thought that New Zealand was something I'd do when I was older, retired and get a motorhome.
You are older.
Older. I thought, retired, get a motorhome and drive around, because that was just my perception of it. And then it was because of a conference last year, I was like, well, going all that way, might as well have a holiday. Yeah. I just fell in love with it. And I'm going,
oh my God.
And you're kind of taking photos and you're like, all right, put the phone away, that's enough. And then you turn and it's just even more stunning scenery. It's just beautiful country. So what next on your journey?
What next is crazy. I ask myself
the tsunami's
this all
coming.
the time.
What next?
Depends what day it is.
Yeah. So with the way things are going, I had a real moment with a friend of mine, Sava Christodoulou, who is just, this moment was something that we shared, and I realised, like, holy shit, you're someone that's going to be in my life forever, dude. Like, just a bro moment. And it was a moment where I was like, I'm capable and I can do some stuff. And like, for me, like, I want to grow into doing, maybe it's some wine writing, maybe there's another venue in the future, maybe there's some more sort of wine sales things, or maybe some wine judging. I really want to step into that personality realm. I don't want to go heavy into it and become, South Aussie with Cozzy. Yep. No hate to that, but that's not what that's not in the plan. But I want to turn this love for hospitality and wine into, I suppose, being an advocate for it, not just in the sales type, but also in the
education.
Education, and I suppose being a bit of a loudspeaker to it.
It's interesting you talk about that, because through our work you sort of hear about going to sort of become a leader, and that's sort of what you're almost going, like, you've done this and it's incredibly successful, and then it's like, now can I start to, rather than just reach the people in this bar, can I then pass it on to other people running other places and help them understand and grow as well, and it gives you bigger reach, I guess.
Well, it sounds like we're on the sort of tail end of this now, but just as a little thing to anybody that's listening to the podcast or watching, is drink wine because the wine industry across Australia, around the world, but specifically Australia, it's gone down. It's hard, man. So it feels like I'm telling you.
Yeah, all right. I'll do my bit.
Yeah, but you know, like, but there's never been a more diverse, more authentic, more interesting time in the wine industry. So it's this, at the same time as diminishing returns, there's never been more opportunity. So challenges and opportunity. What do? Well, you try to be an advocate. If you stand for it, then make some noise.
Not great for the space you're talking in, but the tough times for them means that there's so many good quality wines they have to pay bugger all for. Yeah.
Quickly, before we wrap up, you mentioned potential of a second venue. You have to decide right now. You won't be held to it, but where would that venue be?
They can't say that.
You got it.
Can't say that.
Got it.
Tip of his tongue. Yeah, watch this space.
Press that button. No. Look, the venue and the venue identity will be decided upon the venue itself, or the location of the venue itself. But if there was to be another effort to be pursued, the personality would be much similar to, you know, some sort of zombie of the Victoria Hotel and Noori as to what it is. You know, somewhere where you can get a great bite to eat, family can come, you know, happy birthday, lunch service, little break, dinner service, smart little wine list. Not really before midnight, not really working past midnight, and go for that sort of smart diner down south, because where do we have?
Yeah, I was wondering when you're talking about getting another venue, I guess where I mentioned before about like your passion for this. There's probably two parts to your passion. It's the wine, it's the venue, but then there's also you're pretty passionate about like porties in your area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think like you probably need both of them to be in it for you to have the drive for it.
Yeah, I couldn't move to, you know, Newtown in Sydney and make sense. So, like, but that's exactly.
Skateboard there.
Because you know, if I felt real determined, if we made a bet, I would. But yeah, I'd say, like, I mean, tender hooks at the moment. There's no official plans for anything, but there's dreams. So if there was to be something, it'd be down south, certainly.
Well, I can't wait to see where the journey takes us. Today's been fantastic, Jacob. Thank you so much for your time and sharing with us, and we look forward to the rest of your journey.
Yeah, cracking. Thanks for the opportunity, guys. Cheers.
It's been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, wicked. Thank you.